Hello, let's play a bunch of daily word games. Today's bonus game is Word500. And I had a suggestion that we can start with count, which makes a lot of sense because it counts how many of each color you get. Okay. How about tread? I haven't guessed that one in a while. I feel like it's a nice word. Oh, well, very nice word. Are we unscrambling the left or are we working on the right? Well, let's think about the left at least. Probably something like heart. I can't think of another word that goes EART, but I might be eating my words in just a second. Oh my gosh. Well, it wasn't heart. Heart. It couldn't have been heart because heart ends in T, and T was yellow at the end. It's probably an ER word. It's probably an ATER word, like later. Let's not guess later though, because I think there's other words like gator. Satyr even? No. Or tater? No, we can't start with T actually, luckily. Rater though is possible. All right. What about this right word? Let's try an RE word to see if we start with R on the right. If we can. What's the C doing? You know what? I bet both are ER words. Let's do an EER word. Like lever, and that'll help test for Okay, so it's not later. I'm not sure what it is then. It could be gator. It could be mater, maybe. It could be baiter. No, not baiter. Pater. Pater is accepted. It could be water. Water seems plausible. I think this is an RE word now, but I don't... Or it could be like ER... Could it be mercy? Let's try mercy. Oh, okay. Thank you for being mercy. The game is being merciful. So I think I have to do a filler here. We think it could be gator, it could be water, could be... it can't be mater anymore, actually. Actually, should I just guess water? Because I think gator's the only other reasonable one. Oh, it's after. Oh, that worked. Didn't think of it, but it worked. Cool. Almost did a... This was a mistake. Heart was a mistake. But besides the mistake, I think it was a pretty good solve. Managed to get the words with an ER ending, so that's good. Cool. Let's do Fibble. Each guess has a lie in it. So it started us with faith, and one of the colors, exactly one of them, is lying to us and should have been a different color. So for my first guess, I like to bring in one of the grays because it helps find contradictions earlier. It is more likely that the I or the T is lying, but that said, I want to bring in a gray to make it more likely to find lies. So it's rarely that I get it in two or in all my first guess, but also it's a lot less rare for me to just get no info from my first guess. So I'm thinking about a TH word if I can. The problem is, like, if I do TH, I can't actually do an I because my lie is already the H. So I'd have to put the I later. Is there like a THR? Maybe I could do, yeah, THRI. Doesn't look very good, does it? I mean, third is a word, but that has two lies. What about trail? Trail brings in the A. That's pretty good. Okay, let's give that a try. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So unfortunately, the A was consistent being gray, but these I's disagree. Because these I's disagree, that means we found one of the two lies that exist, because there's a lie in faith and there's a lie in trail. So one of these I's is lying. We don't know which, but it means these A's can't be lying. Because think about it. If this A was lying, that means there is an A in the word, because it's either yellow or green here. And that would make this A also lying. And now that would be our two lies. But then how do I give the I's a lie when they need one? So the A's have to be true. And we use this blue border to designate, by right-clicking, to designate that that is a true letter, a true coloring. We also know that there is a T. We don't know that they're both yellow here, but we know that if one of these T's is lying, it's lying as green. So why don't we do another TR word? And then we can omit the I and say so that would be saying this T is the lie and this I is the lie. And the flag is just where we think the lies are. It lets us flag that. So something like trope would probably be a good guess. Okay, so we have, okay, this is perfect. We have a lie between these two T's, because this says it's yellow here, this says it's green here. Those are obviously contradicting. And there's a lie between the R's. This says there's a green R, this says there's a gray R. That's both lies. We only have two lies between trail and trope, one each. And there's one lie between the T's and one lie between the R's, which means the rest of this is true. So if that I is gray, that means that was the lie. So that means that it's either going to be lying like this with a TR at the start, or it's going to be lying like this with a great yellow T and no R. I'm gonna assume it's TR at the start. I'm gonna do another TRO word. If I can find one. I'm sure I can. I'm gonna do trout, repeating the T. That's not bad. All right, this T wants to be yellow here again, and this R wants to be gray here again. So that is, this is interesting, actually. Okay, we have a piece of logic here. Either this R is lying or this R is lying, which means these T's can't be lying. These T's are true, which means this T is lying, which means that R is true, which means that R is lying. So it's not TRO. We can bring this truth down. This O is still not lying. And I think this final T is lying, because otherwise we would have to end in... Yeah, let's just assume this final T is lying here. So maybe it's like STO. You know, if I guessed stout, that would actually work, because that would mean this U is lying, and that we'll at least find a lot of contradictions here if it's wrong. Okay, so what did we learn? Well, this O comes down. It feels like everything's agreeing. So maybe this could be a situation where... Actually, no. Okay, so the first bit of logic we can do is this U cannot be lying, because if the U is lying, it would have to be green. That means we got the answer right. We know we didn't get the answer right. So these U's are telling the truth. That means this TS be lying, which means this TS be lying, which means we are an STO word, but we probably just end with something else. Can't be stomp. Stalk, maybe? Ooh, okay, so these come down. This K has to be telling the truth, which means the C is lying, so we're just STO something else. It could be stood. I think this O has to be lying. The D can't be, so the O has to be lying. Interesting how we're getting those lies there. Well, I hope I don't lose just because I'm in an STO trap here. What else can we do? Maybe stowy? No. Stony? Stony is possible. There we go. I got it. Okay, got a little bit trapped there, but that was a good solve. I got all my lies correct, of course. Logically, they had to be there. So, and every single lie was a yellow or green. In fact, all of them except one was a yellow, which makes sense. I think I've already explained yesterday that greens are the most likely to be lying because you're most likely to get a gray. And then that means that a gray is most likely to be lying, and there's a 50% chance the gray lies as green. So, and there's a very low chance you're getting greens in a slot because there's only one letter that can be green in that slot. So it's more likely to have a gray lying as green than to have a green that isn't lying. Let's do Betweenle. I'll start with mouse per usual. Ooh, okay, so we're pretty close to mouse. 11% away. 11%, maybe we start with R. Maybe like a middling R. I don't know. That's what my instinct is telling me. I'm trying to refine my instincts here. What would be a middling R? Like R-O, R-I. Let's do R-O. Let's do arouse then. Okay, I went way too far with rouse. I could see 6% of words starting being between R-A and R-O-U. So let's try rainy. But my instinct is telling me I didn't go far enough. But let's see. Yeah, I didn't. Not okay. So we still have 2% of words before rainy. So we might start with P. I think skipping Q is a good idea. We could even start with O. Let's try outro just to. Outro's not in the list. Interesting. Did not know that. Oyster is too long. I'm just trying to think of a word that starts with O. Any word that starts with O. How about outer? Okay, O was way too far. So Do I maybe I start with a late P, like prize or something. Oh, okay. So I think we might be PR. We can't be PRI. I did IZ, right? There's not going to be enough words. There's about 13 words-ish. You can think of this as basically a count after the decimal. It's not quite right, but you can think of it that way. So there's about 13 words. Maybe prone. Not far enough. There's 3 words, so probably like, oh, maybe proof or something like that. Is that okay? I was going to ask if that was far enough, but it definitely was. All right, proof in 7. How'd you do? Let's play Word500. I am playing in the advanced mode. That is this red angry face mode. It is the hardest difficulty. I think it's the only one worth playing personally. But if you're easing into the game, you could play one of the easier modes. But you're going to get a different word in each mode, and that's the point. So in this mode, we have no restrictions on what can be the answer. That's all that means. I'm going to start with stare to set us off to a good start here. So what this means over here is normally Wordle would have made one of these letters green. But Word500 just tells you one of them's green, good luck, right? So we have no yellows and 4 reds, red being the equivalent to gray. So one of these letters is in the word in place and the rest are not. So I'm gonna say E at the end is my initial guess here. So this is how I think it would be colored. It doesn't have to be this way, but we're gonna move forward that way until proven otherwise. So maybe something like clone. Okay, still one green. That reinforces that this might be a green E. Maybe I'll, let's see. What would be a good yellow? Because if I make the O yellow, then I need to put an O probably second. And that makes it a little bit more awkward to end in E. I could bring in the L, which is just a very common letter. N is also very common. But I'm thinking about doing LE ending and bringing in another vowel. We could even use E again if we wanted to. I don't think I want to at this point, though. Unless there's a really good word. How about while? That works. Okay, so I think what this means is we got the E correct still, but the L was not supposed to be the one to keep. So maybe we'll keep the N then. The next, again, I think it's awkward to use that vowel, although we're running out of vowels. But what could we do with an N? Like start with N, end with E is kind of my initial thought, but we could also put like N here and end with E, like NGE. I don't mind that. Lunge. Lunge is not possible because the L is red, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. UNGE. Is there not a word? Only lunge. Munge is a word. Let's try that. So if we think the N is still correct, it's yellow here, and then we probably have to use the U because we're going to need vowels. So something like N something U something E is my initial thought. This is getting a little bit ridiculous though. I think I've made a mistake in the E. Sorry, that's supposed to be green, but that's not the mistake I mean. The fact that I've had a green the entire time, though, really makes me think we end in E. I mean, I could use another E instead of the U, and we could bring in the M or the G. Let's not lock ourselves into one or the other yet. We'd have to move them around, though. So how does that help? Like, EN something ME, right? Like, that doesn't... enemy spelled really strangely. It doesn't seem to work really well. N-E-G something E, or... Problem is they can't be in place. We could add a Y somewhere. I don't think that's helpful, though. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to E's all the way down. These would be red. These would be red. That means that's red. This is what we kind of think is happening. And maybe we just don't bring the N in. Maybe that means we have more letters to choose from because we have the C or the O and then 2 of MUG. So like we could do like an OU word, and that would satisfy the O and the U here. And then we just have to use the M here or the G here. So gouge doesn't work because the G should have been green. Is something like gauze? No, it's gauze. Gauze is that word. Is there really nothing I can put there is my initial thought. This feels so nice, but I don't think there's anything left for it. So what about like, I don't know. I was going to say this, but oh yeah, like Vogue. There it is. Nice. Figured it out. Cool. That was a good solve. Vogue came out of nowhere. You just got to think of the right letters and then play with it. Very nice. Well, how'd you do? Let's play Polygonle. Hexpert is on. We have this letter repeating 3 times, and that's it. We have a 7-letter word, and this letter appears 3 times in these spots. Otherwise, we have unique letters. I like SSES as an initial test here. Maybe trusses. Okay, SSES is right, and I think this is a major trap, but let's see if we can work through it. Let's try an A here if I can. Glasses. I need my new glasses shipped. Ooh, nice. They made this puzzle for me because my glasses broke. If you weren't around when that happened, the nose piece literally broke off. There's a little metal piece that holds the actual. So it's not just the little, I don't know if it's plastic or what, but the little nose piece. It's not just that broke off, like off of the frame. The frame itself snapped where the nose piece is. So I don't think it's repairable, at least not easily. So I ordered new glasses. Yeah, there were 13 words. And other than SSES, there was SSIS for chassis, and then there was DDED. So yeah, I probably would have come up with DDED pretty quickly if SSES wasn't it. All right, let's do the mini. Starting and ending with the same letter, we do river. And it's never helpful. I don't know why. It seems like it should be. So this R goes somewhere. What are we starting and end with? What are we starting and ending with is what I meant to say. Layer. No, definitely not. Loyal would be a really interesting start actually for that, but we can't do that now because there's an R in the word. Maybe R goes second. Maybe we're doing something like, I was going to say dried, right? But there's no E or I. So we got to be a little bit more creative. Other than DR, is there anything else like PR? Or what else likes to start and end? TR? Trout? Surprisingly not trout. Okay. The R goes in one of these two. I'm thinking like RTO. Yeah, outro. Sorry, outro. Outro is exactly what Betweenle didn't accept, unless I typoed it. Is it possible I typoed it? That's pretty funny that the word I tried to guess in Betweenle that wasn't accepted ended up being the answer to the mini. That's pretty funny. Yeah, lots of words. I don't know why I even look for the mini. Well, how'd you do on this? All right, let's do Symble. I'll start with Blaze. Okay, so we have to make a choice here. I'm thinking green is gray. The most common usually is the gray. The choice we have to make is, do we do BA in place, or do we assume that they're yellow, which they probably are. I could guess brain, though. That's not terrible. All right, so yellow is yellow, probably. And if that's the case, that means the middle letter is B, which is unexpected. Something like lobby would work. I was right about the B, but nothing else. There was only one B. So we start with A, Z, or E. I don't think we start with Z. So maybe A, something, B, something, something. And then all new letters otherwise. Amble, can't do. I like A and B, but I don't know how to end that. Amber, amble, ambus. Is there something else I can put between the A and the B? Maybe AUB? I don't see how that works. It could be E. If it was E, I could almost do ember. The problem is with the R, actually. But otherwise, it would actually work. We can repeat the E if we... Can't be ebbed, because we already checked double B. But I like having another E here, actually. But I don't actually see a good word for it. That's still possible. It's tempting to guess ember just to make progress, but let's not do that yet. I mean, this E is not necessary. Also, it could start with A still. Wow, that B is so weird in the middle. You've heard of input. Have you heard of mbut? No? Okay. The only thing I can think of is like an ED word. Ebbed is the only one I see. Oh, embed is a word. Sorry, embed is a word. I was pronouncing it in my head as embed. It took me a while, but I got there. All right. Had I guessed ember, I would have really smacked my forehead when it was green, 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 gray. Okay, cool. Let's do the blind fusel. We'll start with embed. We're going to get a lie. Interesting. I don't know which one I want lying there. Maybe the B. Can we... There's no way we're bringing in all those letters. If I guess broom, I think that works pretty well. Okay, so we know... between B and M, we know one of them at least is in the word, and now we know only one of them is in the word, which means there is a D in the word, and we also know that this is a B, or this has to be the M, because it can't be the B or this would have been green. So the M is forced here, and then we know there's a D somewhere, and I'm thinking it would go first, just because it wouldn't really go next to an M usually. So, and then we don't have any of these other vowels. So we need new vowels, not the E, not the O. Unfortunately, the keyboard is completely blank because it doesn't update for these two twists. This twist is going to give us, sorry, this twist was a lie. This twist, it gives us blue, which are symbol-like yellows, which means a different letter in the guess goes in that spot. And since we knew a B or an M had to be in the word, it had to be B or M, but it couldn't be B because B would have been green otherwise here. So it had to be the M. And then we know that both M and B can't be in the word because there weren't two blues and there weren't any greens. So that means the D is in the word, and then the lie was the B. So now I just have to think of something like demon, but we can't do the O. It can't be O or E. So A or I or U. It could be dummy. That actually works. All right, the D, the M, and the Y were in place. This twist didn't give us any yellows. So if the U or this other M were yellow, we wouldn't know, but I'm pretty sure they're gray just because where would they go? Now, unfortunately, I have to repeat a letter, which I'm not going to be able to do, guessing a word, but we can at least think of, I think it's dimly. So if dilly is a word, that'll, yeah, okay. So we can now guess dimly. Nice. Okay, that was a cool result. I liked the interaction between the lie here and the symbol result. That worked out really well. Cool. Well, let's play Don't Wordle. It's thinking of a secret word. We are trying to avoid guessing the word. So I'm starting with kayak here. It's perfect. Okay, this is the first time in a few days that kayak has given us all gray. We follow up with Xylil. Also all gray. Nice. Now we do Cocoa. This is what we want to see. All grays, all grays, all grays. Nice. After Cocoa, I like I like sus next. I think that's fine. All right, we start with S. So now we have to get creative. What's like a good word that uses up? Like we want to repeat letters and we want to use uncommon letters. And ideally it would be a word that wouldn't be on the answer list, but that might be asking too much. Something like seeth might be good. Not a word? Okay, it would have been really good because it's not a word. What am I thinking of then? Seethe with another E at the end. I'm just trying to repeat letters here. I'm not allowed to repeat the S because I already repeated the S in sus, and it said there's only one S in the word because the other ones were gray. What about like an SPR word? It's like sprig is a word. Let's try that. That's a really good result. So I don't know what the answer is, but I have a 1 in 41 to accidentally guess the answer, so I feel pretty good about that. What should I do here? How about sized? I know that sized won't be an answer because the answer list does not have words ending in ed, which are still words if you remove the D or remove the ed. So siz isn't a word, but size is a word, and so sized was removed. Nice. 13 words left. The word was swift today. Nice. Cool. All right. Well, those are the games for today. Let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed this, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.